Welcome to Morning Chatter Podcast with your host Chelsea Ann.
This is Courtney. Hello. And today we have a friend. This is Allie. Allie Callie with Calissori.
That is her real last name, by the way. Allie Callie.
You married into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Julia's last name is gonna be Gulia. Julia Gulia. That's funny.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Could your mom do that too? Could you imagine?
I think it's cute and it works. And you
it
got
works
Calissori
perfectly.
going on.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't you give our viewers a little bit background about who you are, what your background is, and then what you do
why
now
we
a little bit.
have you here today.
Yes,
Let them
exactly.
know.
All right. So I got my Montessori certificate. I started in 2009, and I got that done. And then I worked at a Montessori school in Dana Point for about 6.5 years.
Gosh, you were there for that long.
Yeah, because I did my internship there as
That's
well.
right.
Okay, so real quick, let me just ask a question. Did you go to school to be like a teacher? Like you have to get your teacher
You
credentials?
don't have to,
Don't have
because it's
certificate.
preschool, so
Okay.
you don't have to have your actual teaching credential. And
Gotcha.
technically, to teach preschool, you don't have to have your 4-year degree either,
Yeah.
but I had mine.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Okay.
And because the Montessori covered your ECE units, which you
Yes.
do have to teach.
Okay.
So it was a credential or a certificate program.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
Get
no,
back to
it
where
took
you're
about
going.
2 years.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Maybe I should have done some research before we had you on, but that's okay.
No, you did.
I'll just be learning right along with everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but I luckily got hired at the school that I did my training at and
Very
everything.
cool.
So
Okay.
that was why I was at the same school for so long.
Awesome.
But then, I had Lucy and
One stay home.
I couldn't figure out the hours with
Yeah.
having a baby and teaching and coming home and having the energy to have a
Yeah.
baby.
No, definitely.
I started my own little program.
Cool. So you do like tutoring now?
Tutoring, and
Awesome.
group tutoring, and I called it Calissori.
Awesome.
And I started out mainly working with phonics and letter sounds,
Oh, okay.
and a friend had come to me and said that her son's kindergarten teacher had told her that her son was behind.
Oh.
She was like, what? And
Really?
he was expected to write his name and be able to know his letter sounds in kindergarten. And she was like, oh my gosh. And so he was frustrated, and he was having some problems in school because of his frustrations.
Yeah.
And a kid's gonna do better if they're confident
Right.
when
Exactly.
they're going into school.
Exactly.
And so, I started working with him, and then it kind of grew from there.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
then we'll give it like a little bit of a background on Montessori a little bit, because I know everyone's like, what is that? Or,
Yeah.
because I didn't even know what it was until you started doing it. Like, I had no idea it was even a different kind of teaching. I remember
I
you had
didn't
said
either.
something
Until
on
just
recently.
recently. I mean,
when I talked to you.
honestly, all I knew about it is when we lived in St. Thomas, there was a Montessori school there, and that's where all like the rich kids went. I just thought it was like a normal.
Kind of still the
Yeah,
same.
that's all I thought it was, like just a private school. I didn't know there was a whole like different,
Different
way.
style
of
A
Yeah.
method behind it, and it's hard to sum it up in a nutshell,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
Now, this is me in a nutshell. Help! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get into this nutshell?
Yeah.
But it definitely, some of the key points is that it promotes independence.
Okay.
So the child does everything they can and are capable of doing, and
Okay.
if they're not capable yet, you teach them how to do that. So we had a whole practical life area in the classroom, and the kids learn how to pour, slice their own bananas.
So
for
more
a snack.
hands-on.
Yeah, but
Hands-on.
that just promotes independence in the child, and if a kid does help you in the kitchen, they're more likely to eat the food as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. 100%.
All of those things. Put their jackets on themselves, hang them up themselves, on socks, shoes. Yeah, and it.
This sounds great. I don't have to fucking do anything.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Now you do have to work on it at
Yeah,
home as well.
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, it takes time, and it takes like sometimes you're sitting there for 15 minutes trying to teach a kid how to put their shoes on.
Yeah.
But in the long run, when you say let's go, or let's get ready to go, and they put their own shoes on, they walk out and they're like, I did it myself.
Yeah.
And that pride
Yes.
is going to motivate them and
It
keep
builds
them
their
going.
confidence,
Yeah.
like you said too.
Exactly.
And I had heard earlier that you had said like then when you have a big classroom and you have older, younger, like you have a bunch of different ages, right?
Yeah.
So the older ones then are teaching the little ones, because then that's a
there's
better
no like
way.
age groups in
It's
There
it's
is an age
traditional
group,
is
right?
3 to 6,
it?
but
Okay.
because Montessori was developed in Europe and Italy, but our school system here, 5 is kindergarten.
Yeah.
And so it's around here, the preschools are a little more tweaked to 2 to 5 instead of 3 to 6.
Okay.
But yeah, so the 2-year-olds are looking up to the 5-year-olds and seeing what they're doing, and they want to do it because they see that.
Yeah, that's definitely motivating. Like, I love when Archer's playing at the park with like older kids
Older
are
kids.
watching them.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
They wanna
they're-
do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then it helps the older kid too, because the best way to learn is to teach. So
Hey,
it's
look
also
at
That's good. Ding, ding, ding.
winner, chicken dinner. Win.
That's good.
Yeah. But it does, because
Yeah.
I know for me, that's it. I'm such a hands-on learner. Like I'm not one to like read a book and then all of a sudden I got it.
Yeah.
Like I have to like.
And that's another key thing in Montessori is touching and feeling and using all of the senses to learn.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's a whole different. I don't think we have time to go into
Yeah,
how
yeah,
that
yeah,
works,
yeah.
but yeah, using all of the senses and then also following the child. Are they ready for this? Are they
Oh.
ready to start reading? Are they ready to start math? And if they're not, you don't push it because then they're not going to like it.
Oh, I know that.
And so,
I have one at home.
Yeah.
I like math.
yeah, I mean, once it gets to that age, it's
Yeah.
a little different.
But I
But
feel like that
yeah.
the whole time. No,
But
but
yeah,
I
are
see
they
what you're
ready?
saying.
And then if they are, then you nurture that because she believed in that there were sensitive periods that these kids were, that kids are totally receptive of learning that task or that language, math, a new challenge. Yeah, and
like
so
even that fine motor stuff that I see you do on there, that's huge. Just not with putting a bead on. It helps to write your name when you're writing a pencil or
yeah,
holding your fork. Or it's like funny how, because I remember that from OT even.
yes.
She's like, you have to work on your fine motor skills, buttoning, things that you don't think about.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, just get them on. Get
I'll
your
do it
shirt
for
on.
you.
Yeah.
I need to do it for
Okay,
you
walk it up real
because
quick.
we gotta
You
go.
gotta go. Exactly.
But that's
it's the worst thing to do.
You're missing
Yeah.
so much for them.
They are
Yeah, they're
missing so
missing
much.
out. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I have a bad habit of doing that. I'm like, wrap it up. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Because they're like,
Just do flip flops.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Like, it's like bad.
Well, yeah, and you could tell the parents that were like that in the
Yep.
classroom because the kid would just sit there.
Yep, that'd be my
You're
thing.
gonna put my shoes on for me, right?
100%.
I'm like,
It'd be like,
no, you're gonna do it,
Yeah.
and we're gonna sit here until
Okay,
you
so
do.
speaking of that, like when can they understand putting their shoe on? Because right now, like Archer tries and he gets frustrated because he'll
Yeah.
take them off in the car seat and then immediately want them on and then get
Yeah.
upset because he can't
I
get them
know.
on. But when can they really like be taught how to do that?
Lucy's going through that too, and there isn't like a set.
Right, but it seems like
It's their fine motor that needs to be there, and
Yeah.
so just keep working on that fine motor and doing things that he is capable of.
because I haven't
with
even
the fine
tried
motor.
to teach him to do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just think
No,
it's so,
Lucy
like,
does the
baby.
same
I don't
thing.
know.
Yeah. But you sit there and ask him to ask you for help and then help him do it. And so he's still touching the shoe and the sock,
Yeah.
but you're actually pulling it on,
Yeah.
and show him where to hold the tongue and show him where to hold the back of the shoe.
Okay.
And he just touches those parts for now.
Okay.
As
We
you're
do
sliding it
like
on.
the pants. Like we'll get him up like over his diaper and
then he
he'll
wants
just
to
do
pull
like
it
the
more.
the
Yeah.
I still want to do that when he starts.
Yeah.
I'm not like
too.
I don't want to teach him how to do a zipper yet because then he'll take his. We wear like a
Oh,
wearable
yeah.
blanket. I'm like we can't teach him that yet
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
then he'll
yeah,
take that
yeah,
thing
yeah.
off.
I know. And buckles and yeah.
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, some things it's like.
Yeah, but
Is it like then would you do it like a step by step? Because I remember in OT they would do step by step. Okay, first let's master this. Like you look like you're interested in putting your shoes on. Let's, like you said, let's just master this first step. Let's not try and go
Grasping.
for the whole boom
Process.
you're tying your shoes. You know, like so. Like focus on that first step first, and then help him. Can you do that?
yeah, and the whole part of the Montessori classroom too is isolating certain skills. So we have spooning or pouring or sponge squeezing and all of those things.
Ooh, that could be a good activity.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's my takeaway for today.
Yeah,
No,
so
for
transferring
sure.
from one bowl to the next bowl, you take the sponge and then you squeeze it into
Okay.
the other one. Yeah,
That's a
they
good
love
activity.
doing that. Yeah, but then that's working on their fine motor. And eventually that's how you pick up the pencil and write as well.
It's so funny how that's all like
Connected.
connected.
Yeah.
I don't really even
Yeah.
think about it.
And like
There's
I
so much.
advertise that I tutor and whatnot, and it's for language, but it's I'm doing these things with the kids, and it's pre-language skills, and it's working on their fine motor so that when they are asked to pick up a pencil and write, they're ready.
They
And
know how.
yeah.
So
They're
when can
eager
I
to
drop
do it.
Archer off?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Sign me up.
No, I have come over my years. I've come to terms with, I think, 2.5, 2.5 is when they're
ready.
They're ready and capable. They have to have some sort of language to be dropped off at school too, or else it's just a frustrating experience for them. And a lot of Montessori preschools have a toddler program where it is more catered to a toddler that doesn't have all the speech and doesn't have to follow as many of the classroom guidelines.
Yeah.
Our school didn't have that, so I don't know that much about the toddler programs.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a huge difference between 2 and 2.5.
Oh, yeah.
Kids. Yeah.
Well, especially at this
capacity
age, even just like a month is like a huge difference.
Yeah, because you're both at what, 18 months or 15
Yeah, I mean, I
months?
don't even think I mentioned that. Like, Allie has an 18-month-old. And I do 3 days apart. As I do. Yeah,
I
you're
have a
3 days older.
465-month-old. Just kidding. But I have a lot of girlfriends that have, because they all have the younger babies, 15-month-old. We had a girlfriend ask us on the Instagram, she had said, like, well, my 15-month-old doesn't sit still. How do I get her to go and focus on these things? And realistically, maybe she's not ready for it then after talking to you. It's like, well, maybe she's not ready. Maybe she enjoys those out time walks instead because her kid loves to walk around in nature and maybe she's more active. So do you wait then when they're just not ready to sit and play, or do you shorten the time? Like, let's do 2 minutes. Can you do that?
Yeah, I mean that's hard to say because I don't have the training in the toddler program either. But I mean we can kind of give some tips when we get into the playroom. Yeah,
which might be a good way to segue into that because
right.
Also, she organizes playrooms in a way.
Playroom makeover.
Yeah.
Get on it. I know. Go out in my living room, see the big bounce house that my husband bought.
She might be a little overstimulated.
So fun. But I get okay, so transitioning into that, you then, after you did this thing, you and your girlfriend got together and were like, hey, we could organize these playrooms because she's also a Montessori.
Yeah, we worked together, and she is the organizing queen and always has been and is very good at that. I'm more the one that can see it and lay it out and
perfect team.
Yeah. So when we get in there, I say, okay, this is where the furniture needs to go. This is going to look good this way. And she's like, okay, here's the bins. Let's start organizing.
Got it.
But yeah, so we go in. We usually do a consultation and meet with the family and see what their needs are because you're going to set up a playroom different for different ages.
So true.
Or if they have multiple kids, is one kid going to put everything in their mouth? And we've had to do playrooms where one set of shelves for the 3-year-old is in a closet, and so when the other one's napping, he can open it up and do those little fine motor things where the other one might have swallowed them.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So like a locked door for him.
Yeah.
But he still has his place.
Yeah, but the main purpose, and I mean, I will even admit it's hard to do at my house, but it's hard to minimize all of the toys and all of the gears, and especially first grandbaby.
Yeah.
Same thing. You got lots of presents.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, she doesn't really, I mean, she'll play with a piece of trash longer than she'll play with some of her toys.
Cardboard box.
Yeah.
Man, those are right.
Yeah, and so it's hard to weed through everything, and it's easier sometimes if somebody comes in and does it for you.
Yeah.
And says, okay, they have moved past this toy. They don't need to have this toy out anymore. Or this one lights up, has too many buttons. It's overstimulating. It's not a great one to choose. Put it in a bin. Put it away. Or donate it, Yeah. I mean, I've done it to myself. I'll put it in a bin. I'll put it in the garage. If neither of us have thought of it, none of us in the house, then, Or I took some down to grandparents' house so that she can play with them when she's at
Allie drops all those noise makers on the
They were the noisy ones.
And then they have new toys that are exciting and new to them because they don't see them all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And putting toys on a rotation because
that's what I
get
just
over
did.
them so fast.
Yeah.
They get over them so fast.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Because they're overstimulated, maybe?
Not necessarily
Like
that.
it's
just
too many choices.
That is definitely an issue in a lot of playrooms because people just have bins stuffed full of stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and so they open this bin up, and then all of a sudden the floor is full of stuff, and it's like, well, if I get this out, where am I even going to do this? In Montessori, we call it work,
Yes.
and so I kind of use that terminology at my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, where am I going to set this and actually do this work?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, wait. Oh, wait, that toy's over here. Now I'm going to play with this, and now I'm going to play with this, and they just get
all over the
buzzing
place.
around the house with everything, and yeah, it's overstimulating. So
you organize it in a way to where it's easy access. There's not as much. And then we were talking about this because Christy asked, how do you organize it in a way to where your kid can put it back? They know where to put it back. Would that be like labels?
well, it depends on the age,
Picture
but
labels?
by minimalizing everything and you don't have as much stuff, then everything has a place and a home. You know, I'm constantly, Brian and I joke and do it to each other, but I'll do it to Lucy too. Where does this live?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
where's its home? Like,
Yes.
put it
Say
back.
the same things
Yeah,
too.
So
yeah.
true.
And so if they see it in that same place all the
They're gonna
time,
know.
they put it back. This morning I was watching Lucy, and she started. I'm a little worried because Dad's a little OCD, so this is borderline. I don't know if I've taught her this
Yeah.
or if she just has dad genes, but she started putting everything back. Even this chair that usually sits over on this side of the room,
Yeah.
she
I
put
mean,
everything back. And I was like,
They're all two of
I mean,
them.
2 seconds later, she pulls everything
Yeah,
else
yeah.
off, you know, but she will place things back where she found them. And she's starting to get into the groove of that. It's not, it's hit
And
or
like
miss.
this is
clean
where
and
it goes.
organize. I think Archer likes to he'll grab a rag and he'll like go wipe things down and clean and like
That's
but then
huge,
he'll
Montessori.
destroy
They want to help.
everything.
They want to help, you know.
Yeah.
They want to mimic what you do.
Yeah, and
You
like
know?
put things in
And
the
they
trash
see
and
that.
they like
Mhm.
being like useful
Yeah.
and doing things
Well, that
like
kind of
that.
reminds me of like the kitchen, honestly. Like I wouldn't pull everything out of my dishwasher and just put it wherever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm putting the dishes over here, cups over there, and then
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. It's like I know exactly where each thing goes
Yeah.
because I've been programmed to set up my
Well, and
kitchen that way.
Maria
If your
Montessori
playrooms like
wrote
that-
about kids wanting a sense of order.
yes,
A sense of order in where their things
schedule,
are,
everything.
a sense of order of their schedule, a sense of order of discipline,
Yes.
boundaries, all of that. And if everything has a place and it's the same each time, you're going to have a happy kid.
100%.
So then, okay, because I don't like the look for me. I mean, granted, it's a shit show out there right now, but I don't want like millions of shelves with all like these toys. So I would prefer to have a lot of my stuff away. So would you just pull a few things out a day? Like how,
You could do
like
it
just
that
give
way.
them a few options and they work on that and you put it
Honestly,
away? Or
you'd
what?
probably be happy with 5 toys. Or what you could do is you can put it in a bin. Most likely, though, Lucy doesn't go to her bins because she can't see what's in them. So she forgets that
So
there's
clear
stuff in
bins?
them.
Oh, but you don't like to see it.
No, yeah, I
Well, we
would
have
do.
clear bins. I just put them in the closet. Like, well,
No, that would be
Oh,
fine.
when we
I see what
rotate
you're
them.
saying.
Yeah, but then bring it out and put it. You can put it in a basket on your shelf, which would look nice. Even like your basket wall baskets, you can use unique, cool.
Yeah, I do have some
baskets.
baskets full
Yeah.
of toys, but I just didn't want like
But just
everything
put
out.
one toy in there at a time, not just
Okay.
pile the basket full of a hodgepodge of toys. So you're gonna want to put like maybe he has like a stacking toy or
Yeah.
something. You can put that in the basket on the shelf, and then he takes the basket with the toy out onto the floor. He does it, and then he puts it back. And you,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to keep on him for a while for him to actually
So you
get
would
it and
almost
do it.
put your hands over his hands and put the basket
You
back
could.
in the beginning.
This is a touchy age to do that.
Okay, he's so
Yeah.
young.
Maybe I
Yeah.
need to hire you to come organize
Yeah.
all this stuff. Seriously.
I want to see it before and after you do that, seriously.
Yeah, but right now it's funny. Lucy will get the toy out and then she'll go put the basket back.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
I mean, I
Good.
congratulate her on that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a step in the right direction. And
Yeah.
so, and then she doesn't go get the basket and put the toy back and put it.
yeah.
But then I'll have to clean it up after. But
Okay.
yeah, it's just she took a step in putting it back. So that's
So
Yeah.
functionality, really.
yeah.
Like,
And so
your playroom should have a purpose. It shouldn't be just to have toys in it. It's not
yeah,
a toy
and
store.
that's the other thing too is
That's
we
what my kids
choose.
are. A toy store.
Yeah, we choose purposeful toys.
Yeah.
You know, that actually have a point and will engage them and they're learning something from them. and they're going to be a little bit more drawn to that type of a toy.
Okay, yeah, someone
For
did ask
longer.
if there's certain toys, either brand or just certain toys you
Yeah,
like to
you know what?
use.
Amazon's really easy. You know, Amazon, the 2 founders were Montessori kids.
Oh, really?
If you say in the search, if you do Montessori toys, a lot of good stuff comes up.
So just type that in.
Melissa and Doug toys are great.
Yeah, they do have
Yeah,
good stuff.
great. I think you pronounce it HAP. HAPE is a brand
Okay.
of toys. Those ones are good, a little bit more pricey. But they isolate one skill at a time, like maybe colors or numbers, 1 or 2 skills at a time
Okay.
that aren't going to be too overstimulating, you know, too much at one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that come to mind that, like, I know, like, for him, like, we like the stacking, like, nesting blocks that he
Mhm.
stacks, or, like, a music thing.
for
or,
hand motor skills.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you
There
know.
was there's a HAP puzzle that I got for my students, and Lucy is using one right now. But you twist it in order to get it off of the peg. There's little pegs on it. You have to actually. It's not just stacking, because
Oh,
she's
that's
a little
a good
past
idea.
just stacking.
Yeah.
But this one you have to move it or turn it upside down and move it and figure out how to get it off, and then you
Oh.
can.
You'll have to
Yeah.
send me that, or
Okay.
maybe we can link it, because he just started, like, putting the caps back on his pouches and twisting it,
Oh,
like,
cool.
just within a few days ago.
Perfect.
So I think
Yeah.
that would be
Opening
a nice
and closing work. That used to be on the shelf in our classroom, and
Yeah.
you just different bottles with or zipper pouches.
No
no
zippers.
zippers. Yeah, I know.
I was
Lucy
like-
can do zippers. She can do zippers, and she one time got out of her sleep sack, but she
Yeah.
hasn't done it again. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy, like how much goes into that, little tiny things that you didn't think about,
Right,
you know?
I know.
Like, but
Yeah.
it's so, I think it's beneficial. I wish I would have done that with my boys when they were little. Had less toys. But I also feel like the parents have their own issues with toys. Like, well, I didn't get this when I was
Yeah.
a kid, so I'm going to get it for you.
Well, or
That's
you
how I was in the
or you
beginning.
get connected to it. Okay, so
Yes.
this is a story.
And that's
So
hard.
we were going camping, and so I was going to bring a puzzle. It was a little beat up. It was like her first puzzle, right? At the farm, Melissa and Doug one,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I'm packing it. Brian brings it back in. Oh, no, this is going in her memory box. We can't take it camping.
Girl, what? What?
Hoarder!
Yeah. Check out our
So
decluttering one.
parents get sentimental
You
with
do.
the toys too,
Yeah.
and then it's hard for you to get rid of it or put it away or put it in a
Exactly,
bin. You know?
exactly. I really don't think it's the kid. I think most of it comes from the parent.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and I take full blame for that. Like, I loved buying toys for my kids. It
Yeah.
was
Well, yeah,
so
and you
fun,
want to get them
know,
the
like-
new thing or
Yeah, and my kids like to do a lot when they were little, like a lot of imaginary play, like
Mhm.
like with little like figurines and
Yeah.
stuff. So like that was where then you buy the whole set, and all of a sudden you got this town, and you're like,
Yeah, where
Now
you
I'm
set
trying to
that
get rid
up,
of it,
and then
yeah.
they set it up, and they don't want to break it down
Yes.
because they have a whole scene going, and they have to
Legos.
leave and
oh,
come back.
there
Yeah.
it goes. Wow. Wait for that.
Yeah, and so that's another thing. Like, have areas if you have a big enough space
Yeah.
for those things.
But then
to-
that goes into that too. If you don't have the space, don't get it.
I
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
that's
like,
hard, but
I just
it's
donated
true.
so many toys. Like I was like, dude, we're not doing this. You have
Yeah.
like 12 houses.
Well, and when your kids are older too, I've told a few people, do offer up or do Facebook Marketplace, and the
Maybe I
kids
shouldn't
can
have
save
done
money for
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
new
Yeah,
and
because
bigger.
mine
But
are at
that-
the age where
yeah.
they know what
they get it.
money is, and they're
Yeah.
like, can I go empty the dishwasher for $1?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Send them
Yeah.
over here. This is
Yeah,
yours.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
please do it then. Well, they're not putting it where you want to put it.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure.
Okay, so how can we like bring this and utilize this in our house without it just being like toys? Because I know with Archer, it's like, you know, he starts getting bored and antsy. There's only so many toys we can play with, so we like to get out and about too, or just even, I don't know, what can we do? What do I
Activities
do?
at home
Yeah, like what?
other
Yeah,
than
what do we
toys.
do
No,
with
I
our
mean,
toddlers all day?
Like I
Yeah.
said before, practical life is a huge part of Montessori. So you can invite your child into the kitchen, and I don't know if you've seen those like kitchen helpers.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
might get one. They're expensive.
They're
Is that
expensive and they're
like
kind
a
of
ladder,
bulky.
stool, cage kind
Yeah,
of thing.
you know what I did is I just took 3 chairs from my kitchen table and then made a little box, and she
Okay.
stands on
See,
that.
he's like wild though. I'm afraid because I'm afraid he'll just climb up on the top of the chair. Like,
Yeah.
he won't
But,
be
okay,
like,
well-
chill.
Well, maybe if you give him something, like I've given Lucy a plastic knife, and then she'll cut her banana. She'll
Yeah.
slice her banana. They can tear kale or spinach for a salad.
Or
They
maybe
can
even just
pair
putting
it.
him in the high chair in the kitchen.
And then you can
and
do
then
all
give
of those
him
things
the task
too.
to do.
Yeah, give him a
Okay.
little plastic
Yeah.
knife there.
He's too wild.
Yeah, and then
Jump out of that.
having Lucy has her own cupboard. Right now, it just has stuff in it, you
Yeah.
know. But eventually, it'll have
Her
her bowls and maybe some Cheerios, so that
Yes.
she could pour her own snack
Yeah.
Yeah.
and get it when she wants.
That's good. We
Independent
did like
snacks.
leave the pantry unlocked, so
Mhm.
he can go because it
The
just
bottom
helps.
drawer.
Yeah, so it helps
Yeah.
me. Like I can do something for a second, and he's just being entertained by that.
But it also
that-
helps him too, because eventually you can get to that point where you're like, okay, go get yourself a
Right.
snack.
Well, and he'll
know?
grab a pouch and he'll come up to me, and now he's like open and
Yeah.
learning that, so it's helping
Yeah.
with his like verbal skills
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah. So you can do that stuff. Laundry.
Mhm.
Probably not quite at our kids' age,
Yeah.
but a little bit older. Matching socks. They can be matching the socks while you're folding the other laundry.
Okay.
And they can even learn how to fold the sock over, or you can teach them how to fold
A towel, like a small
towels.
towel.
Exactly. And they can do that part of the laundry while you're getting your
You kind
other
of had
laundry
shapes
done.
out of that too, like you made a square.
Square.
Fine.
Yeah.
Make it
Like,
into, exactly.
literally so
Exactly.
much, like-
yeah.
Yeah, because right now he does like to like help me bring the clothes over and try to put them in. So at least
Yeah.
like just I guess involving them in
And
everything.
involve
you do.
them, yeah. I mean, Lucy helps. We take the little wagon over to Sprouts and then bring it back, and so
Mhm.
she'll help empty the groceries out
Yeah.
and hand them to me as I put them in the fridge. I mean, she wants to shove them on that bottom shelf,
Right.
but I'll fix it later.
Yeah.
She did something,
Great.
you know.
That's
Yeah,
great there.
Or even like the dishwasher. Like
Yes.
Archer likes handing me
Yeah.
stuff to
As
put
long as
away
you take
too.
the knives out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ahead
Just
of
little
time.
things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Get them involved
cleaning.
around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, scrub the toilet.
No,
Yeah.
the toilet,
15
but
months
yeah.
old. Okay.
Yeah.
Getting lazy, buddy.
But you
Right.
can, Lucy has a little outdoor broom. She sleeps
I feel like
alongside
all kids
Dad,
love
you
brooms.
I
know?
love
Yeah.
brooms.
Like
And
obsessed.
vacuums. Those
Yeah.
little baby vacuums. I
Oh, I'll
remember
have
it was
to
like
get
a
one.
big hit.
I've been
Those
thinking
fake
about
ones,
those. Oh,
no?
you know what?
Ooh, they have a baby real one?
What?
Well, there's
It
like
should
a
be.
handheld one I
Oh,
saw
like
on
a
Amazon.
Hoover. What,
No,
Like a
Like-
dustbuster.
I don't know.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, it was like a dustbuster.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
what you're
Oh, I
thinking.
have one.
I always thought somebody needs to invent this, but the poppers that are so obnoxious,
Yeah.
why don't
Yes.
they make it into a vacuum?
Yeah,
Yeah.
real vacuum.
Yeah, and
A
then
light-
vacuuming
a
while they're doing
lightweight
it.
one.
Well, they have those like at the restaurant that are just like
Exactly,
that pick up
that's
the
true.
crumbs. Like
Pick
they're
up the
not. It doesn't
crumbs.
They
turn
need to make
on.
a kid one
Yeah,
like that.
shorter one.
Yeah, maybe they do. I haven't looked, but
Yeah,
they would
probably
love
do.
that.
They have a
Yeah.
freaking kid everything.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay,
True.
so turn your kid into a chore slave. That's another one.
They like
Yeah,
it.
no,
They
they
do.
do.
They enjoy helping.
And
they
it
like
also
being told,
teaches
like, a
them
task
those
and
healthy
stuff.
habits too. Like when
Yeah.
you're done with something, you put it away. When
Yeah.
you get your laundry out, you put it away.
Yeah.
You're teaching
Yeah.
them how to be an adult, really. Like
Yeah.
like
Like giving them skills.
And then it helps
Teach
life
my
skills.
husband how to do this.
I think I need to teach myself.
I don't even have any good skills. You know, like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Laundry laying on my bed right now, actually.
Yeah.
It's not your bed.
Well, I usually do.
Oh,
I
like
hid
my
mine
bed.
back in the dryer.
But that's good.
Yeah.
I think that kind of wraps it up, right? We got a lot of good information, a little background on
Yeah, and
Montessori.
I'm on Facebook and Instagram,
Instagram.
and I always throw out tips and
yeah, definitely
ideas
Calissori,
yeah.
right? And then you and your friend are open for playroom makeovers, basically,
Lou
right?
and I, yeah,
Is
we'll
that the
schedule.
same one? Like, is that what they would schedule it through? Like, if we have a girlfriend or whatever who wants
Yeah,
to schedule one,
My
can they hit you
email
up for it?
calissori@gmail.com.
Okay,
Yeah,
and then they'll
or
find
on
you on
via
social media.
on social media, you can message me too.
Perfect.
Easy.
Because I bet you there's some people out there that want a organized playroom.
Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Organized
or I'll go on
playroom.
Amazon and find Montessori
Yeah.
toys and
Yeah,
swap
and you can get
things
ideas,
out.
and you can do a lot of stuff just on your
Even
own
like
too.
on Pinterest too.
Like the sponge squeezing.
Yes.
You can do this right now
Yeah.
in your kitchen and
Or
figure
even
it
like
out.
art
Yeah.
too. Do you guys do a lot of art like with that? In
Yeah.
Montessori?
I mean,
like
it's just
all over.
traditional
Sensory
art.
bins
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Sensory.
sensory bins.
Tons of sensory.
Do you
Yeah.
have? I know we need to prep you for this, but like, what other like sensory things? Like, I dump oats and then put like little animals in there for him to scoop. But like,
Yeah.
is there anything else that comes to mind? Like, I don't want him to like choke on things. He
Yeah.
keeps putting shit in his mouth. So like the
Oh,
whole
like when you
pom-pom
see like the
thing.
rice bins and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, we've done rice because at least it's small, but like
Yeah.
the pom poms, like we can't do that
That's
because we'll eat
questionable.
them. Like,
Yeah.
what else is there for
hard.
Finger painting. Have you done
He'll eat it.
yogurt?
You can do
Diet
yeah,
yogurt.
you can
Okay.
do different, like
Yeah.
different
Okay,
kinds,
that's a good
like
idea.
homemade finger paints.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
Shit
Sandy
show.
actually that does that. I've seen her do that.
Okay.
And they
Or like
make
homemade Play-Doh even.
they make the
Uh-huh.
paint out of food products. Like beets would be a certain
Yeah,
color,
yeah, and you
this would
can
be
make
so-
your own.
that
finger
way
paints.
you
Oh, God, or you can just buy it and not be
Yeah,
afraid of everything.
exactly.
yeah.
But if, I mean, if you were worried about putting it in their mouth,
He's gonna
Yeah.
eat it.
Yeah,
Spoon
no.
feed it to himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
I mean,
Then he gets the wrong idea. You can eat paint. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's the other
I
thing.
think
Yeah.
maybe we tell them like, no,
Hands
don't eat
down,
it, even
yeah.
though it is safe to eat. Like,
Well-
just be like, not in your mouth.
Well,
Like,
that's what in a Montessori classroom, if we introduce pouring or spooning, and it's with a lot of times we'll just use pasta,
Yeah.
dried pasta, and we're like, well, this isn't cooked. We don't eat it.
Mhm.
You know, and you just keep telling them, no,
Yeah.
this isn't food right now. You know?
yeah.
This is work.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea. Pouring stuff.
Yeah, you can use
Pouring is
pasta.
so
Yeah.
nerve-wracking.
Just switching it from one. Because he'll do that
Yeah.
with his food even. He'll take it out of this one and,
And
put it in this
bowl.
one.
Yeah.
So,
Or
okay.
sorting.
So I need to
I was
just
gonna
run
say
with whatever
sorting.
he's doing and make it into.
Follow the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea's like, so you just follow him around the house.
Yeah.
No, and then, you know what? I've had that
I'd be like,
question before too. Yeah. No.
man.
It's follow the child what they're interested
Okay.
in at that time, and
Awesome.
what needs need to be met at that time.
Where their interests lie. Because when you're interested in it, then you're going to do it more.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Hey,
thank you so much, Allie. That was a great
Yeah.
time. I hope everybody got something out of it. Sure. Definitely the parents will, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, this was fun.
That was good. I think that was
Yeah.
a lot of really good
Yeah.
info. Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I
This
was
is
like,
gonna
I'm
be,
not even
she'll be
getting
loud.
belly button. Cheese. That's me.
Okay, we see this.
The
Good?
next one's gonna be on love languages.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I've had a lot of coffee too.
Huh?
That's production. We found out Chelsea sweats like a full-blown Italian.
forget-
Oh shit!
What did you do? Something weird with your tongue?
It's a kick drum.
My
We should
brain
just start.
sounds like this.
Yeah.
Right now. I feel like frozen.
That's my love language. You're doing it. You know what I mean? But we can say like then she does
It
this
was, like,
like
dripping.
supernatural like comes out of her
Come.
hands.
Just comes out of her hands.
I saw something out of my throat. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
We're not professionals. We're just
Well, I
friends.
am, but it's whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Door jam thing. So thank you guys for being here. Be sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up and ring that bell so you don't miss any future episodes.
Ding ding.